The Void, Series 1, Episode 2. Who the hell is Buck Rogers? Chapter 11. Denom took a sip of his coffee as he pored over the satellite logs. Kane and the team of data miners had made strides with recovering the data, but it was still too threadbare. They had recovered most of the personal data, so they knew who most of the inhabitants were now, but they were lacking way too much regarding the relocation of the satellite and the purpose. It seemed the satellite's own logs had recorded the events from inception to relocation, but there was nothing to indicate why. There were streams from cameras that showed Hela technicians moving around the ship and making adjustments to the satellite systems, but there was nothing on the system beyond course projections. It appeared the final destination was a planet named Petra, which was deep in Hela's space. At the time of the journey, it would have been a relatively new colony, which lent credence to Denom's theory of genetic diversity. There weren't any known genetic diversity issues with that colony, but records were far from complete, especially those relating to enemy territory. "Morning, Denom."
"Oh, morning, Rachel."
Denom had been so focused on his terminal that he hadn't heard his colleague enter. He took another sip of his coffee and went through a mental checklist. There was still much to get through, so many logs and records. Not that he expected any new information out of them, but it paid to be thorough. Random chance could always result in some clue, some Rosetta Stone that might open the door to more information. But for all the excitement random chance could offer, its less exciting sibling, likely possibility, promised the more mundane option of nothing.
"Morning, Denom."
"Morning, Akari."
"Do you sleep, Denom?"
"I just like to get up early."
"And work late?"
Akari contested.
"Trust me, if a medical doctor thinks you work too many hours, then you do."
"I'll take that under advisement," Denom ignored, returning to his work. He scanned through more files, looking through the analysis of the data miners and their conclusions, weighing up their findings, which amounted to very little hard data.
"Dr. Richt, may I interrupt, please?"
"Of course, Kane. What is it?"
"One of the data miners has flagged something that could be of potential interest," Kane explained. "I shall convey it to your terminal."
A frame from a visual stream appeared on his terminal display. "Actually, could you display it on the wall, please? Let everyone get a look at it." Kane complied, and the wall configured to display the visual stream. It started moving, showing the movements of two Hela technicians in what appeared to be the command room.
"What are they looking at here, Kane? This looks rather unremarkable." "The point of interest will happen in about 30 seconds, Doctor."
Denom patiently observed the stream, watching the technicians work on separate terminals. Background noise accompanied the events, but it appeared that neither of the technicians were interested in talking. Nothing much happened until one of them finally spoke, seemingly responding to a silent summons.
"Steve, Hennig's calling us back to the ship. They've picked up something on long-range sensors. Could be a ship."
The other technician responded with a curse, and they both stood and left.
"That's it?"
Denom asked incredulously.
"Do you not see it, Doctor?"
"What am I missing?" Kane reviewed the stream, moving it back to when the two technicians entered the room.
"See what they are carrying?"
"Look like standard media devices. Old tech, but much the same."
"Now notice when they leave."
The stream moved to the point where they left the room. Denom still couldn't see what Kane was hinting at, even after they had left the room.
"Oh, he's left the device behind,"
Rachel blurted out. Once it was pointed out to him, it suddenly became obvious.
"I don't know how I missed it myself," Kane apologized. "It never occurs to me how forgetful you humans can be."
"I missed it myself, Kane. Don't worry about it," Denom dismissed. "It's a device not native to the satellite. It may have data which the satellite's computers do not."
"It could still be there, Doctor."
Denom wondered how they hadn't noticed during their sweep of the satellite, but it could have easily been overlooked. The emphasis had been on retrieving the crew after all.
"Okay, I'm going to have a look."
It took Denom time to traverse the ship to the satellite, but when he got there he found the quarantine was still in place and he had to wear a suit again. Cursing, he climbed into one and placed the helmet over his head, the fabric of the suit and the helmet knitted together into a single sealed suit. He climbed onto the satellite, avoiding a group of engineers who were removing one of the containers. Denom acknowledged them cordially and moved on with singular focus.
Making his way around the satellite, he wondered where the device could have ended up. Without the gravity, it could have easily drifted away, but with the doors closed, it should still be in the same room. He floated through one of the radial corridors towards the hub of the satellite, listening to the sound of his own breathing within the helmet. The sound made him more aware of his confinement and served to irritate him. The control room was located in one of the central hubs in an asymmetrical arrangement, with another room occupying its reflected module. Although not many people had been in the room, particles floated around in a slow dance, indicating they had been recently set in motion by someone moving around. The console that featured in the stream, where the technicians left the device, was visible, but the desired object was not. He would have been surprised if it had been, as it almost certainly had drifted off. Scanning the locale, he could see a few floating objects, a small electronic tool, a plastic wrapper, a water bottle with some water floating in a small sphere inside, and a number of other small and inconsequential items, nothing that appeared like a media pad or similar device. Where could it be? If it had been floating free, it probably would have been noticed by one of the Liberator's crew by now, so it was liable to be in a confined space or trapped by something else. Nooks and crannies were everywhere, as the ship had been designed in a modular fashion, with everything bolted into place on a frame. This meant there was plenty of places for the device to hide. He started searching, reaching into the gaps between consoles and behind component modules on the walls. He managed to snag something with a hard plastic edge and, with some excitement, pulled it out only to find out it was another small electronic tool. "Where are you?" he asked himself. It was like trying to find one of his children's shoes. One could easily be found, the other lost to some cosmic vortex located in their bedrooms. Invariably, it always turned up in some bizarre location, leaving him to wonder how it got there. He spent a good time while searching, gradually getting more irate with each failure, much as he did when searching for his children's shoes. Denom wasn't prone to swearing, but he was quickly approaching the state where it may become inevitable. Then he discovered something. It was underneath a chair, trapped in the hydraulic workings. There was a gap in the front where it must have entered the space, and it was through this that he was able to find it with his blind groping. He felt a thin plastic mold and grasped it, slowly pulling out his arm. The object was indeed a media pad, emblazoned with a Hela logo. "Aha!" he cheered, suddenly feeling the frustration lift. "There you are." It was dirty and looked like it might have had some frost damage to the casing, but otherwise it didn't look much different to how it appeared in the stream. Denom prayed that the device hadn't degraded internally, but given that it was securely sealed and floating in a stable environment for over a millennia, the chances were good. Having secured his prize, he started to make his way back.